For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Guys, today we have Manu Siddhartha sir with us, and he's the author of two books. The first one, Shiv Puran Unlocked, and the second part is Shiv Puran Unlocked Part 2. By the way, in few days, the third part will also be available. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on our show. I'm truly grateful that you have chosen us.
Thanks, Gaurav, for giving me opportunity for this podcast.
Pleasure, sir. So, sir, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your books, about your upcoming projects, your, let's say views on different kinds of perspective of publishing and all, I would request you to please introduce yourself ताकि हमारे listeners आपको और अच्छे से जान सके, and do share how you started this writing journey.
Yeah, sure. So, I was actually born and brought up in Lucknow city. It's the capital of UP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the childhood, I was bit shy and very introvert, right? So, I was bit shy. I love playing cricket with friends and all. But I had a natural inclination towards Indian mythology. मुझे जैसे महाभारत shows आता था, रामायण आता था. So I was very much interested in seeing those stories and try to understand how these things. So what most of the time I ask questions to my mother, to my father, and sometimes at some point they were very irritated. So some of the things don't look logical when we see these type of shows and read Sanatan Dharma text and scriptures. So मेरे लाइफ में सबसे बड़ा टर्निंग पॉइंट ये आया जब व्हेन आवर एक्चुअली कनेक्शन वाज विद द वशिष्ठ गुहा आश्रम. इट इज लोकेटेड इन ऋषिकेश. It's around 22 meters above Rishikesh, and it's a very serene, calmful place. And we have one Guru Maharaj, whose name is Swami Purushottananji Maharaj. So we are well connected with him. So there, our family goes to frequently when I was during my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And there, I also do certain meditations, purely you can say आध्यात्मिक environment था वहाँ पे. So most of the time वहाँ पे जो उस time पे स्वामी जी थे, who was taking care of that, he was also telling most of the stories of Adhyatma, and most of the things he from Ramayana and Mahabharata he actually cleared to me as well. So वहाँ से मुझे एक inclination हुआ so that I should also try to write something in terms of simplifying the scriptures, our Indian mythology scriptures, so that wider audience could also understand. And जो confusion मेरे अंदर है आज के टाइम पे, वो हमारी जो मॉडर्न यूथ है, ऑडियंस है और पब्लिक है, उसको ये चीज़ ना हो. So that was my goal. But after that I was I have done engineering. I went to job, and I was and currently I am in AI profession. So I'm in as an AI engineer, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, a lot of ups and downs happened in my life. I joined banking, then I shift to AI domain. So a lot of things happened. But after that, I feel certain phase of my life where I feel that I should dedicate certain time in simplifying those texts. And you can say that writing specifically Shiv Puran is, you can say, the calling from maybe Lord Shiva, because I was a devotee of Lord Shiva from inception. So my aim is to write all the Lord Shiva related scriptures, make it simpler to understand to wider audience.
Okay. So sir, after listening to this podcast, many people will just love to explore this book. They might be interested in buying and reading them too. So when it comes to talking from a new reader's perspective, what a new reader can expect from this book? Like the title itself says Shiv Puran Unlocked in a simplified version. But what's different in this book that a new reader can expect from this? Can you share insights?
Yeah, sure. So the problem is when I started reading Shiv Puran, because it is one of the most, you can say, celebrated scripture, and according to our अध्यात्म, और यू कैन से सनातन धर्म की अगर हम बात को गौर करें तो टोटल 18 पुराण्स हैं, उसमें शिव पुराण जो है वो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है टू रीड इन कलयुग, because it is, you can say, it will give salvation once you only listen to it for a certain period of time. That is the power of Shiv Puran, right? So, but the problem is if you start reading the traditional Shiv Puran, which is written in Hindi, Sanskrit and other different languages, and once you start reading it and just आप एक दो चैप्टर पढ़ना स्टार्ट करोगे स्टार्टिंग के, you will lose the interest because our modern youth can't understand that complex spiritual terms, right? So उसके लिए बोला भी जाता है that you should have a proper guidance of guru, right? Of someone having experienced in Adhyatma who can tell you the very deep meanings in Shiv Puran. So that was the major challenge for me also to understand Shiv Puran completely. So I have gone through many readings from different references, text, and also from my guru. Then I was able to understand it properly. And once I understand it, I make a this, you can say, मैंने एक aim ये बनाया that I have to simplify it at very simple level to everyone. So it should not look like आप जब start करते हो शिव पुराण को पढ़ना तो उसमें starting में 2 to 3 stories हैं which will tell you what is the importance of reading Shiv Puran. And those stories are very impactful. If you just listen for a certain period of time, it will also give you salvation. So that is the power of Shiv Puran, which is mentioned in the starting stories. So if you don't put it in a very simple way so that any modern reader could understand, right, then it will be very difficult. So also I'll tell you one thing, I'm not just comparing, I'll just telling you my challenges in this work. So I have also gone through many English versions of it, as this version I have written in English to reach wider audience. So English versions is also available by Dr. Vivek Debroy. That is also very good. I'm not saying any against it, but it is exact translation of the Hindi or Sanskrit versions of Shiv Puran, right? Which is sometimes very, very difficult to understand even to modern readers, right? At our age, guys. So मैंने उसको भी refer करा. Then I also visited Gita Press book and I'll try to make it more simplistic. Sometimes I have added my analogy on top of that to make the things easy to consume, right? So that is the difference what I'll say with the existing Shiv Puran which is there in the traditional form and this Shiv Puran.
Okay. So sir, like, as it's your first book, like it was, right? So you could have written something else, you could have chosen some other genres, the mass appealing, let's say the romance genre, crime thriller, murder mystery, something like that. But you have particularly chosen these things which are, can be, I can say, like quite controversial because, it requires a lots of effort to go for that. What was the main drive behind writing this particular book? लेकिन मुझे तो शिव पुराण पे ही लिखना है.
So yeah, that is very good question actually. जैसे मैंने बताया आपको कि मेरे लाइफ में बहुत सारे ups and downs आए when I joined my banking career, right? So initially for the phase of 8 to 10 years I worked in bank, then I moved to technical domain, corporate sector. And for a period of 6 months to 1 year, it was very, very challenging for me to survive there. Because as you can understand, I was working in a public sector bank, then directly shift to corporate sector. It was very tough sometimes, right? And it's also a different domain. It was an AI domain, right? So मुझको एक चीज ये समझ में आई when I was working in bank that it's not the domain which I'm working, it's not meant for me, right?
Okay.
But I was not having that much courage initially when I joined the banking, and then I got married, I have kid, so it was very difficult to just change it or switch it smoothly, right? But after doing, as I told you, मेरा inclination towards Lord Shiva बहुत पहले से था. So I was having meditation, I was having sadhana, dhyan of Lord Shiva. But that was also at a, you can say, at a optimum level. It's not that much that I'm completely into it. But एक पीरियड, एक फेज आया मेरी लाइफ का व्हेन आई स्विच्ड इनटू दिस एआई डोमेन. आई हैव सीन लॉट ऑफ challenges in my life. Then I am towards inclining towards Lord Shiva's, you can say, bhakti or devotion, and I start reading a lot of books about Lord Shiva. And the problem and also I have also seen a lot of videos which are available in YouTube regarding many podcasts from very respectable persons in Adhyatma. But one of them is the Sadhguru, right? So he's very celebrated person. So I've also followed a lot of his teachings. But the problem is that if you specifically follow all the articles and information about Lord Shiva, there are a lot of you are correct that there are a lot of myths, a lot of controversies. So that was actually sometime painstaking for me, because firstly I was confused that what to believe or what to not, because whatever you are saying about Lord Shiva, it is also its complement is also true, right? Its opposite is also true. That is the grace of Lord Shiva, you can say. Right? So उस टाइम पे मैंने ये सोचा कि there are a lot of myths that needs to be clear to wider audiences, like how you should do abhisheka on Shivling. That is one of the thing, right? If you go, a lot of people will tell you different ways, but what is the way that is prescribed in our scriptures, specifically, right? So because our you can say Sanatan Dharma is very beautiful in terms of if you connect it with science also. Because if you see, there are a lot of proofs that in our Sanatan Dharma, specifically if you see the distance from our earth to sun is already mentioned in Hanuman Chalisa, right? So there are a lot of things. So if we follow it correctly based on our scriptures, then we'll actually reap the actual benefit out of it. Okay. So when I followed this approach, right, read the scriptures and then converted all those learnings into my life has started moving in a very different way. It's not usual what I was living in a corporate culture, right? And when I started reading it first day and when I finished it, I was completely different person.
Okay.
In terms of, so there are two things, and you can say it's a warning, or it also, you can say it's 2 pointers you should keep in mind while reading this book. You should read it with utmost devotion and respect. So it's not a normal novel that you should be reading in a leisure way, right?
Exactly.
Right, in any position, in any like you understand, right? So it should be, and the best part of it, this book I have given to a very large offline community of readers, where if you share the book, they will read and return back to you. Okay. So a lot of feedbacks we have received regarding this book. So then I recommended him the correct way, and then when they started reading in a prescribed way, they are getting the benefits out of it, and very good benefits out of it. Most of the guys who have started reading it, they have also done Shiv Puran at their home properly from the Brahman, right? So they are that much inclined towards Lord Shiva. So that is what my aim is. Once you start reading it with pure devotion, you should also read more texts about Lord Shiva. You should also try to know more things about Lord Shiva. You should also read the original version of Lord Shiva's Shiv Puran, which is prescribed in the Gita Press.
Okay, understood. So, sir, as we talked about the person who will be very new to this podcast and listen, so now talking from the perspective of people who have already read your book, like, we will be sharing on social media, so definitely they will be also interested in listening to this podcast. So as we discussed before off the record, that the third part is also there. It will be live within a couple of weeks maximum. So except this particular Shiv Puran, anything else you are writing as of now? You want to, let's say, experiment a bit on some other genres, or you want to stick to these only? What's in the pipeline?
So I am completely stick to Lord Shiva's teachings and trying to spread that much as per our scripture. So as Shiv Puran, I have written it in 3 parts, and the reason why it is in 3 parts is that because it has total 7 sections or adhyay, and I have divided it into 3 parts. That's why I organized it into 3 parts, so that you can consume it bit by bit, right? Because first of all, it is for a different set of audience. It's not for adhyatmic. Yes, it is. I'm assuming it is for spreading the information, right?
To the new
so
generation.
When you are spreading the information, then it should be a bit by bit, so they can consume it, right?
Okay, understood. And in fact, मैं ये बोलना चाहूँगा सर कि ये सच में हमारे महादेव बोलते हैं, because I'm from वाराणसी. तो महादेव की कृपा है कि सावन के आखिरी सोमवार के दिन हम ये पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं वाराणसी में बैठ
yeah. That is another His grace.
Definitely, because let's say it was being planned from so many days, right? But exactly, सोमवार के दिन ही बनारस में बैठ के रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है. So that is another grace of Mahadev. So, sir, my next question to this podcast is after the first lockdown was over, the numbers of authors got increased very rapidly. There were a boom in this industry. And as of now, publishing has become much more easier as it was used to be. KDP आ गया है, literary agent, self-publishing, traditional तो है ही यहाँ पे. So, as you have completed this whole journey and you are now a published author of a couple books, so what's your take on the competition that is this industry handling as of now? Because 100 से ज़्यादा books एक हफ्ते में publish हो रही हैं. So how hard it has become to make your book stand out in the market?
Okay. See, the problem, you're currently, if you see, there are a lot of publishing houses available, and as you correctly said that there are a lot of self-publishing houses. There are KDP publishing, right, through Amazon. So option आपके पास बहुत हैं, but and it doesn't matter आप कहाँ पे publish कर रहे हो, as per my experience, right? मेरे लिए मैटर ये करता है कि आपका जो क्वालिटी ऑफ राइटिंग है एंड व्हाट मैसेज यू आर ट्राइंग टू गिव टू योर ऑडियंस, राइट? इट शुड बी करेक्ट एंड इट शुड बी इन द इंटरेस्टिंग वे सो दैट दीज ऑडियंस कैन कंज्यूम इट. If you are a new author, let's say, and you are trying to publish your work first time, right? So मेरा path जो मैंने follow करा, मैं वही suggest करूँगा that you should look for, maybe KDP is also fine. You can also go for self-publishing houses, right? Reason is that the popular publishing houses will not going to accept your work even if it is very, very interesting or whatever it is, right? The reason is that they will see your previous history of as a author, right? Your overall profile and everything, and that's the point where you'll actually miss, right? On first time you have to start. So I think you should start whatever publishing house, whether it's self-publishing or KDP, it's fine. I think the only thing you should target is that how you're going to market it. That is very important. So you should talk about your book on social media channels with your followers, right? And on Insta, YouTube, wherever, and try to give the message what you are trying to give through, the book, so that your reader should have understanding what's your effort, what's your message in the book. And once, I think, I'm not saying that first book will be a hit, but at least once you have one book published, you should get the confidence out of it, and there may be a chance that other publishers will also accept your work from now on, right? So that is my take on it.
Okay. So as of now, like, what's your current writing schedule? Like, every day you devote some particular hours to writing, or it's like, random, if you get some, some good thoughts, or let's say sometimes you get some extra time, then you just scribble down. How does it goes with you?
So as I told you, I'm in corporate sector, right? So it's pretty difficult to give time daily, but for Mahadev, I have taken at least 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour, in the night, 1 hour, and try to maintain the flow, right? Because if you write something about scriptures, or especially related to Lord Shiva, right? So you should have to maintain the flow. That is very important, right? So that's why I maintained the flow on a daily basis, and in the weekend I have given more time, like 4 to 5 hours, doing more research on it, right? And give my around 4 to 5 hours in the weekends. So in that way, I have completed it in 1.5 months or so.
Amazing, sir. Okay. So, sir, like, we are in this industry for more than 8 years as of now. And this podcast is from, let's say, we have completed like 4 years in the Feb 2025. So, I have been personally in touch with more than 450 to 500 authors as of now. And what I have seen very closely that, most of them are trying to be known or remembered as a certain genre, or let's say certain type of author. They want to fit themselves in a particular template. So when it comes to you, talking from a personal branding perspective, आज से अगर let's say 1-2 साल बाद भी अगर कोई आपकी कोई नई किताब देखता है जिसने आपकी ऑलरेडी किताबें पढ़ी होंगी, इट्स अ न्यू बुक बाय मनु सर, so what sudden impact you want to create on that reader's mind? क्योंकि it's a book by Manu sir, it has to be like that, ये इस बारे में होगी, इस टॉपिक पे होगी. Am I right to say कि वो महादेव पे ही होगी, or something else image you want to portray on that reader mind?
As I told you initially, right? So मेरा most of the work future का भी जो भी होने वाला है, that is related to Mahadev only. And मेरा ऐसा कोई अभी प्लान नहीं है, और कि मतलब कुछ ऐसा पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग करना है. I am dedicating whole of my work to the service of Lord Shiva. That is my aim. And जो भी मुझे अर्निंग्स होती हैं इसकी रॉयल्टी से, उसको भी मैंने, मतलब दैट इज माय विश कि आई कैन स्पेंड मोर ऑन द सोशल कॉज, राइट, to help needy guys. Because see, I am already working in corporate sector, so I have no issue in terms of money, right? Whatever is given by Mahadev. So in terms of servicing him, I have written this, and whatever I'll get from it, right, I'll try to give it to the society back. That is one thing. Second thing, if you say if this work is written by Manu Siddhartha, if you say like this, then most of my work will be in the theme of unlocking it. So that's why I named it as Unlocked. It means that whatever complexities in terms of understanding any adhyatmic scriptural things, right, there are a lot of things, and most of the time people will also argue why this and that, specifically in our Sanatan Dharma, right? So this is very important to understand that our scriptures are not that much complex. They are very simple to understand. Only thing is that you have to make it simpler, right? Whatever is required you to understand, only that much you should understand, right? Else the thing is that if you अपने भी स्क्रिप्चर्स जितने भी हैं उसके बहुत सारे वर्जन्स निकलते हैं, राइट, एंड एवरी ऑथर विल गिव हिज ओन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. अब हम बात करें अगर से गीता की, राइट, तो गीता के बहुत सारे वर्जन्स निकले हैं. उसमें ऑथर्स ने अपने पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से समझाया है. देयर इज वन मोर वर्जन, आई एम नॉट रिमेम्बरिंग एग्जैक्टली नेम ऑफ इट, बट साइंटिफिक वर्जन ऑफ गीता, हाउ यू विल अप्लाई इट साइंटिफिकली इन आवर लाइफ,
Okay.
right? So these are all their author's point of view, how they are deciphering it for the audience, right? But मेरा जो point of view है is that I'm not modifying the actual context of the scripture. I'm only trying to make the very simple aspect of it that you should understand, minimum,
And in a simple way.
or yeah, in a simple way.
Okay.
और मैं ये सजेस्ट करता हूँ, देखिए मैं ऐसा किसी को नहीं बोलूँगा एवरीवन इन हिंदू रिलीजन इज worshipping different gods, right? That is the beauty of our religion, right? But as Hindu, everyone कभी ना कभी तो वो शिव मंदिर जाते ही हैं, शिवलिंग पे जल चढ़ाते ही, राइट? सो मेरा ये निवेदन है आपके इस पॉडकास्ट से कि सबको एक बार जरूर शिव पुराण का पाठ जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए या सुनना चाहिए. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट यू शुड रीड माई बुक, आई एम ओनली सेइंग दैट यू शुड लिसन शिव पुराण एटलीस्ट थ्रू यूट्यूब, थ्रू वट एवर चैनल यू शुड टेक. बिकॉज मैंने जो पर्सनली फील करा है मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. Once you start reading Shiv Puran in whatever format, an automated guiding force will start working with you. It will auto correct you. So that is my personal experience when I start reading it. मेरे बहुत सारे कमियां थी मेरे अंदर, जैसे I was very fond of eating non-veg. I was very much angry on very small things, right? Behavioral issues थे, बहुत सारे इश्यूज थे जो when I start reading it, धीरे 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 over a period of time it start removing it.
Okay.
And once I finished it, I was completely different person. Even my family is very much surprised to see that, right? Everybody should read Shiv Puran, and my personal experience is when I started reading it, I was completely changed internally and externally. Lot of things, like I was very fond of eating non-veg, it removed automatically, right? I start wearing Rudraksh, and whatever things related to Mahadev, I start loving it. I start loving all the animals, right? Which initially I don't. और जितना भी मतलब मैं लिटरली आपको बता रहा हूँ, शिव पुराण पढ़ने से पहले, भगवान शिव की तरफ इंक्लिनेशन होने से पहले ऐसा होता था कि आई वॉज नॉट वेरी मच डिवोशनल टुवर्ड्स गॉड. मैं इवन थोड़ी भी पूजा नहीं करता था. एंड मेरी वाइफ वॉज यूज्ड टू से दैट यू शुड डू मिनिमम पूजा at least per day. So that was I am, right? But I was now that much changed that I am spending at least 2 hours daily in sadhana and meditation towards Lord Shiva, and I am very much peace and calm now.
Amazing.
So the thing is that your life will be totally peaceful once you start meditating towards Lord Shiva. And the best path of it is reading Shiv Puran, because आप जिसकी पूजा कर रहे हो अगर आप उसको जानोगे ही नहीं, then there is no point of believing, right?
Exactly. बिल्कुल. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this lovely and inspiring conversation with Manu sir. And if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy and read the book. आप जस्ट Amazon पे जाए, वहाँ पे सर्च करें मनु सिद्धार्था, या फिर आप किताब का भी नाम सर्च कर सकते हैं, शिव पुराण अनलॉक्ड पार्ट 1, पार्ट 2, और कुछ दिनों में पार्ट 3 भी. बुक आ जाएगी, ज़रूर खरीदें, पढ़ें और अपने चाहने वाले, जानने वालों के साथ ज़रूर शेयर करिएगा. थैंक यू सो मच मनु सर फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर शो. इट वॉज माई ऑनर टू बी एबल टू होस्ट इट टुडे.
Thank you, Gaurav.